Hassler on from Nature's Frequencies, and we're going to go into a part two of your being microwaved and fried, and we're going to give you some solutions, but we're going to also go through solutions that come actually endorsed by medical practitioners and healers and quantum healers and all kinds of people like that are credible. So, Rick, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi there. Thanks, Cynthia, and thank you, everybody. Um, I'm Rick Hassler. We started Nature's Frequencies about 10 years ago, and we hold 6 U.S. patents. We've been featured on USA Today. We've been live on Stuart Varney and Company. We've won 14 international awards for our products, including the biggest was an Edison Gold Medal Edison Award. So we have some pretty neat products, and we support Cynthia immensely and her team of patriots with EMF products and products that really help people stay healthy. And my job is to keep people healthy, and we're doing pretty good at it. So
Yeah,
that's a bit about us.
cool, cool. I do want to apologize for being delayed, guys. Just have a lot going on at the house, but anyway, we're here. I forgot to address that, so I just wanted to address that. Okay, so last time we talked about the earthing card and the food freshness card, and I think we talked about the. I'm trying to remember everything we talked about. Oh, and the EMF shields. Um, there is a lot of news coming out on Schumann resonance, on the earth frequencies, and how important that is. And all of a sudden, it's in the limelight, the 7.83 frequency. Can you explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah, the Schumann resonance is 7.83, and that's what your body functions at, and that's what your body really kind of needs. And for years, it's always been the Earth's frequency has always been really close to 783, and all of a sudden, people are talking about it more and more that that number is changing, and we've seen some changes. And you really want to keep the world functioning at 783. It's just better for you. The earthing card is programmed at 783, the Schumann resonance, and it's like walking on a beach, which is always good for you. So that's kind of one of the things that you kind of need.
What do you mean by it's changing?
Um, you look around and you'll see more and more posts. The Schumann resonance is going up and down, and it's not always 783 right now. And you know,
Mm.
I can't explain it, but it's changing. It's changing.
Ah, and how is that being measured? Is that like when you pull up the Schumann resonance? Is that where you see it?
Yeah, you can see frequencies and vibrations, and you'll see a graph of it changing. And um, some people, a lot of people are talking about it a lot more than I've ever heard. No one's ever, until months ago, no one's even mentioned the Schumann resonance or knows it's 783. And now all of a sudden, you're hearing so many people, you know, concerned about it.
Huh. I'm trying to find actually I've ever since I joined all this movement, um of getting on the front lines and reporting, I've been hearing about the Schumann resonance. So, but let's look at this. This one here, 7.83 ionosphere neurofeedback. Why why do we what do you mean by we function better? Like give me an example of when we don't have the Schumann resonance and what
The,
happens then.
all right. The best way to put it is your body communicates within itself at 783. It says your brain communicates at 783. So that your neurons and everything in your body is functioning on 783. So without it, you're you're fighting it, and so it gets like an imbalance, sort of like a tuning fork with one frequency and a tuning fork with another. It doesn't work well. So when you take it's harmony. It's you want your body to function the right way. Um, it goes along with earthing too. Earthing, when you put your feet in the ground, you're getting 783, and you walk on a beach and it's good for you. And no one's ever said walking on a beach is bad for you, but the more your body gets 783 and the more you're earthing, it's just your body's going to function better. Everything, your organs, everything functions better. I want you to function better, not worse.
Right.
So
Explain like an example of functioning better, like not functioning and then functioning better.
well, everything starts at your feet. So when you're standing on the ground, just for an example, all your acupuncture points are in your feet, your liver, your lungs, your kidney, your organs. That's getting hit with 783. Now, your meridian system flows, and it's just going to flow better. If it flows better, your blood functions better. If your blood functions better, you're oxygenated, you're healed. So it's just you function better at 783. That's it. It's like earthing. You've heard Dr. Dan talk about walking on the beach and telling people, you'd be amazed. And he's been, practicing as an MD for 40 years, and it's just good for you.
Explain more what it does to your blood.
If your blood flows, if your blood is separated in cells, it'll go through the capillaries. Okay. If your blood is strung up and in rule, it'll hit the capillaries and it won't go through. And that's sort of like, in the EMF, the test with the head, and there's a thermography picture. And if you put your phone to your head, your ear gets really warm and you feel it. And you're like, wow, why is that happening? Well, your body sees that it's not good. Your brain sends blood there. It's a fight or flight mechanism. And then the blood gets coagulated. So it doesn't want to go through the capillaries. So what does the body do? It sends more blood there. So in the test that, you've seen, we went in a lab, Australia tested us on live TV. Your head goes up half degree on a 3-minute call. That nothing's supposed to go up 1.5 degree on a 3-minute anything. With the EMF shield on, it goes up 0.08. This is really even more important. This is a kid's head. And if you look on the right, I have a thick skull. I'm old. I'm 62. So I'm the guy on the right. Okay. And the microwave from a cell phone only goes so far in my head. When you get younger, and when you're really young, your head's got more water in it. Your skull is thinner, so it penetrates more. And that's what that's what a microwave, how far it goes into your head as a kid. And kids are now living on these devices. Dr. Janine talked about it. And as the kids' heads are like more squishy. It's got more water in it. Water absorbs it. So this was in a lab, and they tested, the effects of the different age. So, especially young kids, you need anything you can because they live on phones.
So this absorption means that it's absorbing the EMFs into the brain?
Correct. And the microwave, that's how far it goes in. And then it, tends to cook it, which isn't really a good thing,
So it's overheating the brain like a microwave does with your food.
Yeah, you'd honestly say that I wouldn't recommend it. Let's put it that way, The
greater penetrate. What are the lasting effects of this?
We don't, you have kids nowadays and you don't know. It's not let's put it this way. I can't give you one benefit. Right. All right. I can give you negatives, but there's nobody that's going to say it's beneficial for a little kid's head to absorb that much microwave, period. Like nobody's going to come out with that study.
Well, and we're absorbing it too right here, like that example of of Australia.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so let's play another clip.
Okay. I don't know which one, but let's see.
Yeah, we'll see what I'm able to grab here. All right. So, okay, let's talk water.
Water.
Yeah, let's talk water first, and I'm going to find a clip from Dr. Emoto.
Water is first of all, water picks up everything. Good frequencies, bad frequencies, everything. And it's important because you want your body to absorb the best possible water. So, what scares me is the water towers now are 5G towers. Mm-hmm. My water tower in my town up in Hampshire has water towers all over it. It has 5G all over it. The good news is I drink out of a well. It's 900 feet down. I live on a mountain, so I'm not getting that water. But they're putting 5G towers on water towers, so we don't recommend it. Dr. Emoto's pictures are great. It shows you how the structure changes of the water. And you can see, rock music makes it haphazard. Beethoven made it perfect symmetrical, and he took pictures of frozen water. So I don't know if you have it. And RJ
just sent it, but I want to start with Dr. Emoto's
the pictures
video.
Photographs of the work of Japanese researcher Mr. Masaru Emoto from his book, The Message from Water. Mr. Emoto's work provides factual evidence that human vibrational energy, thoughts, words, ideas, and music affect the molecular structure of water. Please remember that water comprises over 70% of a mature human body and covers the same amount on our planet. Water is the very source of all life. This photo shows the beautifully formed geometric design of the Yushi Spring water. This next photo is from the Shimanto River, the last clean spring in Japan. Notice the extraordinary geometric forms. The fact that the molecular structure of water can be affected by our consciousness, our intent, and our sounds is extremely important. This photo is from the Mount Cook Glacier in New Zealand.
Wow,
Mr. Emoto has been visually documenting these molecular changes in water by means of his photographic techniques. He freezes droplets of water, then examines them under a dark field microscope that has photographic capabilities. His work clearly demonstrates the diversity of the molecular structure of water and the effects of the environment upon the structure of the water. This photo is from the fountain in Lourdes, France. This photo is from contaminated water from the Yodo River in Japan.
Wonder what the one from the water tower would look like.
In this photo, we can compare the contaminated water with clean stream water. Look at the difference. Mr. Emoto decided to see what effects music would have upon the structure of water. He placed distilled water between two speakers for several hours while playing different music and then photographing the crystals that formed after the water was frozen. This photo is of water being exposed to Beethoven's Pastorale. This photo is the effect of Bach's Air for the G string on the water.
It looks a lot like the glacier.
Yeah.
Now watch.
This photo is water exposed to Chopin's Farewell Song. This next photo is water being exposed and affected to music that was designed for healing. This photo is of water being exposed to the Kawachi folk dance.
Wow.
Yeah.
This photo shows the effect of heavy metal music upon the water.
Can you imagine what it does to people?
Here now we can compare the effects of healing versus heavy metal music and what happens to the water molecules. Mr. Emoto decided to see how thoughts and words affected the formation of untreated distilled water crystals by typing words onto paper and then taping this paper onto glass bottles overnight. This photo shows the effects of the words, "Thank you." This next photo shows the effects of the words, "Love and appreciation." This photo shows the effects of the words, "You make me sick, I will kill you."
Dang, that was horrible.
And here we can compare the effects of "thank you" with the "you make me sick, I will kill you." Very, very different geometric forms being incurred through the intention.
And
Now
now
this
I have
photo
committing
is of a
suicide.
very polluted and toxic water from the Fujiwara Dam. Here now is the same water from the Fujiwara Dam after a Buddhist monk had offered a prayer over it. Prayer, that sound coupled with intention, seems to have an extraordinary ability of restoring water to its natural, harmonious, geometric symmetry.
What? Yeah.
And in this photo we can compare the toxic water and then the effects of praying over the water.
Where's
Oh, it was toxic to begin with, and then, hang on, let me stop. It was toxic to begin with, and then they prayed over it and it changed it?
The water picks up everything, frequency, sound, and structuring the water in a good way helps your body. And same way, you know, we are 65 to 70% water, depending on who you talk to. That's what our body is composed of. So your body up the EMF that's not good for you. Okay. It's picking up, you know, bad frequencies. So you want as many good frequencies to offset the bad one. So anyway, you can good frequencies, you know, near your body, that's a good thing, you know.
Right. So the earthing card itself, which you just showed, has the Schumann resonance. And there is a lot of talk now. I never used to hear about restructured water. There's a lot of talk now about restructured water. And everyone's talking about how you need to energize your water, you need to restructure your water. And so let's play.
Do you have Tim Coleman?
Tim? Do you want me to start with Tim Coleman?
Yeah, because this is what he talks about the water.
The water being wetter.
Specialist.
Okay.
And years ago, he brought this up.
Okay.
And
ideally, if we were in an ideal world, you know, we would have water bubbling out of a brook or, you know, coming down a stream. And now that water would have a lot of minerals and it would be the appropriate electrical charge and we would get much better hydration. But that's not the world we live in now. So yeah, when we do charge water, it puts a charge on it so that the water can actually get inside the cell. So a lot of times when, you know, drinking water, we go to the store, we get some bottled water. Most of that water is acid forming. It's dead water and it's not really going to hydrate you well. It'll go into your body, but it doesn't do a good job in getting into the cell. So that's a huge reason why we want to charge our water so that we can, it's a silly term, but it's basically like makes the water wetter. And it sounds a little weird, but it does help the water get into the cell so that you can hydrate the cell, but also that will let the cell, you know, dump the trash, get rid of the trash. And so that's one huge reason why we want to charge our water.
Tim hit it well. We charge the water with the earthing card. You can run water over it. You can set the water on it. You can set your water on a food freshness card. It makes a huge difference. And RJ just sent you the bovine clip. We had it. Somebody sent our products over to a lab in Amsterdam to test the energy coming off the card, and the results are amazing. Up on the water. I don't know if RJ just sent it.
Yeah, I've got it.
All right. Water's so important, and it you know, our products make water wetter. And that's the right way to put it. And if your body can absorb it, then it helps eliminate, water helps eliminate things in your body. If it can't absorb it, it doesn't help eliminate things. So it's kind of like twofold.
Okay, so, and I guess we can go into what it is.
The Bovie value is a measurement of the life energy, of the vital force in products and in people. And it's called after a physician in France. He was between the First and the Second World War responsible for the quality of the food of the French soldiers. And he was an expert in doing radiesthesia, just measuring the Bovie value. And for every fruit and vegetables, he knew after 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 days what the vitality, the Bovie value of the vegetables were. So when a bunch of fruit was delivered at the military, he could easily measure the vitality, and then he knew, it is okay for another week, for another 2 weeks.
So, Frank, your procedure was simply run water over the card and test it.
Yes, that's right. I took some fresh water with a Bovie value of almost 90,000. You see it in the second column.
Yeah.
Bovie value fresh water. And I just poured the water over the earthing card. I collected the water. I did the new measurement, and the Bovie value was almost 41,000. I was very surprised because the card is very little, very small, and the time it's running over the card is very little. So right. This is a very big positive step in the increase of the Bovie value.
Wow, that was amazing.
You know, you want to energize your water, and basically just running water over the card, it went up about 300%, which is, that's right. You can, you'll hear Marie puts the water in the card, her card in the water. You can set the card on top of water. Any way you get it near it, it's going to increase the energy of your water, which is really pretty cool.
Let me put up Jesse's comment. Since we started putting an earthing tag inside of the water pitcher, then set it on a food freshness card, I rarely wake up and drink a lot of water through the night.
That's a good thing. And take that water, give it to our plants. You will not believe how much the plants love the water. That water is amazing for plants.
So in another clip, he had shown where he poured it over the food freshness card. So on the earthing card, it doubled it, but that was only pouring it over it. When you leave it inside the water, like I have it in my water filter. Yeah, I've had it sitting in the canister. It's doing more than that 40,000, right? Because that was just the initial pouring it over. Yes.
And then he tested also after leaving a pitcher on it for 1 day. And the results were like it hit like 390,000 Bovie, which
390,000 overnight.
It was, he tested one night and he tested a week, and the numbers were huge. So the longer, the more it picked up. And the energy level, he goes, people try to reproduce even 190,000. They can't get there. And we got there in 1 day. And then with 1 week, it went even further. So the longer you leave the water on it, it's just beneficial. Good water is good for you. And again, you can try it with plants. Plants like thrive on this water. Thrive. Amazing.
So I remember in one clip where he poured it over the food freshness card.
Yep.
With just the first night. So this is when he's just pouring it over the surface. And that one increased to 70,000. So that one was higher, but then I guess after a week was even higher. So I have one of each in my water canister that filters.
This is a lot bigger than this.
Right.
So there's also a benefit of size. Just, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. But the difference, the numbers are just huge. And it's funny. Also, in the test, you saw 5 different categories. Almost every category doubled just by running water over the card. So there was no negative in it. It was all positive. So, it was nice to see. And, you have a good clip from Marie who talks about water too. She's a quantity specialist in Paris, France, and incredibly intelligent. She was one of the first ones to say she does her own Bovie testing, and she has every type of device to test And she says the energy coming off your products is amazing. And energy is life, you know.
So Bovi is energy.
Bovi is the life force energy. It's the Bovi value. It's the life force of a product, of water. And most people talk about it in water. But as the Bovi testing was done on fruits and vegetables to see how long they'd last. They didn't want to feed, they wanted to feed the best, you know, they're fighting servicemen the best food possible. And if it has no energy, useless. Like you could
So
be
when
eating,
I have the food freshness card in my refrigerator, it's energizing all the food.
and a lot of people have water that's, you know, you can push a little button and you get water and ice. That water is stored inside the fridge. So I always put, you can see it in the very back, you'll see a little device to store your water to keep it cold. I always put one right near that because you're also energizing the water that sits. It's like a little plastic trough in the very back bottom. You'll see a little hose to it. It's hidden in the back. But if you have water, they have to make it cold. So they put it inside the fridge and run off. So you're energizing your water too with a food freshness card in there, not just the food and the orange juice and everything. It's just going to be more beneficial. The more energy, the better you are. You eat food to get energy. So why not have food like real world?
Okay, let's hear.
How do you physically place these things just to help people? Because besides the fridge, which we'll get to, tell us a little bit about, like you showed us your microgreens picture, and that was amazing. Tell us a little bit how to use them the best way.
I have microgreen station, the electric one, and I'm very happy because now I have 4 food freshness cards on my electric box. As I told you before, I put 1 and then now there are 4, 4 of them.
Electric box, she means
She means the breaker box, yes.
So to make sure that all the electricity around my house is clean, it's clear. And I have like 2-3 boxes, units of microgreens. And I just put the earthing card and the food freshness card in between so that they can give the energy around, because they give the energy like 1 mile, or I don't know how to say in English, 1 mètre, the distance. So I put 2 of them, and there is 2 of these and 2 of food freshness cards to make sure that all the environment it's in the energy of that. And also I put the earthing card in the water I'm using for the tank water, which is going to give the water to the greens, to the microgreens. So I use them a lot. I really for my flowers, for everything, the fruit plates we have in the kitchen. We have 1. We have the bottle, the family bottle for everyone. We have 1 under, so that all my family is having the good, clean and informed and structured water as well.
She puts it under her water bottle for her family. That's what she's talking about, this water. She's an herbalist and sells microgreens also, and she makes her own. She said when she started doing that, in 1 day, it would grow, but it used to take a week to grow in her microgreen. Oh, wow. She showed us pictures. She goes, this is just 2 days. And it was hitting the top of the next shelf. And it was pretty neat. But she's a neat lady.
It would be good to put these out. Susie says she has 2 of his signed books. Who's she talking about?
I am not sure. It could have been.
You have to put who's signed book. Oh, probably Emoto.
Oh, Dr.
Talking about Emoto. Well, okay.
He's passed on.
Wow, that's amazing. It's probably worth a fortune.
Yeah.
So Desi keeps a food freshness card under her dogs and cats' bowls.
I do too. Yes.
Yeah.
I absolutely have one.
So I have one of those electric fountains. So what I did was I stuck an earthing tag inside of it and the food freshness card below it. So it's neutralizing the electricity coming into it, right?
Yes, and I got to show you this. I don't know if you can see it, but that's my pet's bowl.
Oh yeah.
And anyways, yeah, we like my pets. My dog.
And we said, and she did say that it radiates out 3 feet. So the energy coming off the food freshness card goes out 3 feet.
It's meter, exactly. We've always said it's about 3 feet. Yeah.
Which is why she says to wear one. Now the edges can be a little sharp, but if you wrap it in something, and she said that it keeps people from stealing your energy.
Yeah. Her kids, she puts one in her kids' backpack when they go to school, and the kids actually feel the difference. It's just, it's, you know, any way you can give yourself energy, it's a good thing, you know, and you have energy, I have energy, and I sleep on food freshness cards and energy and vitality cards. I wake up charged every day.
I wear the cards in this belt.
Yeah.
I wear a lot of them. Okay, I have 4 of them, and when I ride my bike, I have them on also.
My card is always in my right pocket when I play tennis. In case people don't know, I am a certified tennis pro and a certified pickleball pro. I'm incredibly good, and I play about 6 hours a day of both and teach. I love teaching. I teach for a charity. Last year we taught 500 kids how to play tennis. And we gave them rackets and everything. My wife and I are we support a big charity that my wife and I started to teach kids sports.
Wow.
So anyways, but it keeps me
by wearing them.
Yeah.
Tell us about wine. You have a test where you pour it over the wine.
No, you don't even have to pour it over the wine. All you have to do is take a glass of wine. Not good. One of our awards on the food freshness card, we took wine and the judges came by our booth, and I said, okay, I opened up a bottle and it was Trader Joe's $2 chuck wine, and it was very cheap wine, and I took 2 glasses and I watched them pour it, and all you have to do is take, and it works with both of these work. You can just wave it over the top of the glass, let it sit on it for like 30 seconds, and then taste the glass on this first, and you'll say, tastes good. Then you taste the other one and you're like, no way, this is the same wine. You get the aftertaste, and it's if you're at a party, it's a joke. If you have some really bad wine, I ask for the worst wine, and you do it at a party, people are like, there's no way this is the same wine. And then everybody walks up and you say, can you please wave your card over my wine? Because it tastes, it works on really bad scotch too. Cheap products like in the alcohol market, it really does work. Try it. It's fun. It works. Yes, it does work. And anyways.
And lemons, right? There was a test on lemons.
Again, always taste the one on the card first, because it's always going to taste sweet. And then when you try it without it, it's like, oh, this is better. And you see the people's face. It's like it works on lemons. And it's instant. Like, cut a lemon, put one on the card and one on the side, taste the one on the card. You'd be like, tastes good. Then you taste the other one. You're like, no way is this the same lemon. And you watch people squint. It's kind of fun, but it harmonizes the food, and it kind of makes it taste better. Structure in the water in the lemons. So it's better for you too.
Let's go to one of the clips we played last time of Dr. Marie and the cut basil.
Yeah, that was pretty wild.
And then after some time, I took them at home, because I have maybe 3 or 4 of them. I took them at home with me. And then I put my basil. When I come to the organic shop, I have my basil leaves, my parsley leaves, and I just put it on top. And after 3 days, it was very full of life. It was so strong. And after 1 week and a half, it starts blooming again. It gave us some lovely white flowers. We were like, what's going on? This never happened. So then we realized that, wow, there is something big with this thing. This is the first time that I put my basils in the bottle of water and I put it in the kitchen. And then after 1 week, it's giving some flowers. I never see that. So I took this very, very, very seriously. And I start just doing more testing, more experience, more, and it was always very, 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 I was happy. It was very beneficial.
That was pretty wild because she's talking about cut flowers, cut basil, and it blossomed thinking that it was alive. That's the power of giving something energy. It goes back to life. Like if you think about it, somebody gives you cut flowers and they just wilt and die. They, you know, you try to put the little powdered food in, hopefully it helps. But if you take cut flowers and put them on a food freshness card, you're going to be amazed. They're going to live so much longer. I've had people tell me, you know, I used to order for my office flowers once a week. Now I order every 2 weeks or 3 weeks because it's making them last. But,
Wow.
you know, if you think about it, she's done cut basil forever and puts it in her thing. First time it ever blossomed. So that got enough energy, and it's in water. The water picked up the energy from the card. The water that's getting fed to the basil is helping the basil grow and live. So, you know, it's the circle of life. You gave it life.
So the energy from the water is
feeding the basil enough that the basil had enough energy to blossom. Now, wouldn't you rather drink water that makes, you know, plants blossom or makes plants die? Take a pick. I'm taking the good water. I'm just telling you, it makes a difference. Water is important, you know.
So here's Jesse's comment on, I should have used them in my vegetable garden. My tomato plants were awful. Was this year, Jesse? And then Joanne says, ours didn't do well either, just our cherry tomatoes. Well, mine are fried. So I don't know if it has something to do with the heat, but mine aren't even growing.
Wait, okay. What I did is I took an earthen card and I put it in, you know, those little green buckets with a thing, you know, a little spout on it. I just threw it in the bucket of water that I use. And I use that on my vegetables and it works great. So when I put the hose in it, the earthen card's already in the bucket. And it's, you know, those little green knobs, little buckets with a handle, and you know, just stuff the card in there. And so my plants did great. I have blackberries, raspberries, blueberries, tomatoes. I grow a lot of berries because we like berries. I have strawberries. And you know, berries are expensive. So if I'm going to grow something, I'm like, well, let me grow berries because my wife makes shakes every day, like protein, healthy shakes. So we go through a boatload of berries. So it's like, you know, somebody said grow tomatoes. Why are we going to grow potatoes? It's like a bag is $5. Like, let me grow blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, you know, anyways.
So here, hang on, because there's another point I don't want to forget. You take the watering can and you've got the card in there and you stick the hose in it so that it's a constant flow coming out of that.
No, you just, you know, my can holds like a gallon or so of water, a gallon and a half. And I just fill it up. I leave the water and I use that to water everything. And then I fill it up again and let it sit until the next time I'm going to use it. That's it.
But that doesn't give very much. A gallon won't feed very much vegetables, will it?
A gallon, 2 gallons. I don't know how much is in it. It's not a 5-gallon thing. It probably 2.5 gallons, like in this. But, you know.
I'm just thinking about how much we actually need.
We actually for a hydroponic place. And it's inside a PVC pipe. It's a bigger card. It's a special device we made for somebody. Worked great. Anyways, we always are inventing things. We're good at it.
So what I do is I get my dog this it's Vital raw food, Raw Instinct. is what it's called, Raw Instinct. And so it's organ meat and beef, and it's got some vegetables, not a ton in it. It's mostly organ meat and beef and actual meat. And so what I do is, because he'll gain weight too fast if I feed him too much, plus it's expensive. I buy these like bags of broccoli and cauliflower and squash and carrots and celery, and I soak them with the food freshness card and the earthing card for about 8 hours. And then, and sometimes overnight, depends if I don't have time to do it yet. And then I pull it out and I put it in the Cuisinart and I chop it all up. I get a big, huge tamale bowl thing, because it has to be big enough. And I throw 2 of those bags in and I mix it with all those vegetables. And then I put it in containers and freeze it. And I have a food freshness card in the freezer. So I guess that's diffusing the electricity. And that's what I feed him.
Cool. Wow. That's
So
pretty neat.
So I'm glad to understand more about what it does, because I'm kind of going on blind faith. I know it changes the structure of the food. I know that she said, you don't want to eat food that comes from the store because it's coming with everybody's bad energy. And when they got pissed off and threw the darn thing across the room, or it fell across the floor and picked up all that polluted dirt, and then, so she said, you got to clear the energy. So I thought, well, I'm going to clear all these vegetables.
Well, it's also in the truck. Truck can be, it picks up all the frequencies that it's driving by, and there's everybody. There's so much that, we've always told people is, when you bring food in your house, just put everything, your cosmetics on a food freshness card. Just let them sit for like 5 minutes. And we've had doctors do that for years, and they were the ones that actually told us they clear everything that comes in their house. They set it on a food freshness card.
Wow.
And that's been going on for years. And we learn from our doctors. We have an advisory board, and they're really pretty smart.
What I took seriously is when she said that when she put the earthing card and food freshness card in the breaker box, her son's attitude changed.
That's a good thing.
Like they weren't fighting, like he wasn't in a bad mood. So what I did is I took Dr. Wai Ching advice carefully, and I stuck 4 earthing cards. It took a while to build up, but I put 4 on each corner of his room, and then I have 4 in each corner of our bedroom. So I'm gonna play that clip again of Dr. Wai Ching where she's talking about the earthing cards.
Thanks. It was actually before 10 years ago. I got the vision actually in 1990 of what was happening in our bodies when I saw yin yang, the yin yang graphic, the schematic, and maybe I'll show it later when I show the slides. And what actually happens with our bodies when we can tune in, and all the meridians and the governing and central vessel line up and then expand into the quantum field, which is known as the illimitable, the Wuqi in traditional Chinese medicine, where the quantum field is actually a state, a space where there's nothing exists there, and then everything exists there. That's the quantum field where all the potential is there, infinite possibilities. So to bring it back to home was that I was practicing Qigong in the park, San Anselmo Park in Marin County. And it was a wonderful day, and I was just practicing Qigong and Tai Chi with my teacher, Sifu Feng Ha, when I looked up in the sky, and there were these beautiful threads of light, and they were like diamonds, diamond necklaces, and they came closer and closer to me, and I could feel this vibration inside of me, and I was vibrating, starting to do that, and then suddenly all the lattice of light sort of interspaced into my body, and I was undulating. My spine was undulating, and I was trembling, and I suddenly went into a very light place. And cut a long story short, but it was like so beautiful. I was just floating in space. And then when I wanted to come back, because I realized my Tai Chi class was still carrying on, I just took a deep breath and then grounded the energies into my feet and then into the center of the earth. And that's what we know as the earthing and rooting and grounding. It's real. So, and we are rooting at 7.83 hertz according to frequency, right? I learned about that later on. And now, of course, you're bringing forth nature's frequencies.
The
So
human
that's
resonance.
fabulous.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. So, yes, so that's the story. And then that's the more and more stories of awakenings and experiences, especially working with people and working with people long distance. It's all real through quantum entanglement. So it led me to experience and research this phenomena of qi, right, in myself, because I grew up with that, of course, and I practiced qigong since I was in my teens with my family. But you know, when that happened and the miracles happen in healings as well, and I can share some of the testimonials, is that it's too wonderful. It's really magical. Just like some of the products that you have created. I was really excited to discover them, especially like this nitric oxide, the nitro. Yeah. I was so impressed that there's a company making this, especially for now, to help with oxygenation of the body. And of course, I teach this infinity breath, which is 8 counts in, a little tip for all of you, 8 counts in and 8 counts out. And then deepening in that. So if you can do that, that would just boost up a lot of the mitochondria in the cells in the body.
She wants to get body energy. Dr. Wai Ching is from Malaysia. She's been the doctor for like princes, pharaohs, kings. Her family has been the doctor like for hundreds of years. It's in her family for like the kings and princes on the other side of the world. So wow. She travels all over the world. I just talked to her. She's in the UK today. She's incredibly smart, and she heals people all over the world. And she focuses on royalty. That's what she gets called. Wow. And they fly her in, and she heals people.
Well, we have I had a quantum healer on last night, and so that helps me understand better, because it's hard to understand how they quantum heal you long distance. And she kind of gave a little glimpse of that right there.
She can. She does, and she has.
Wow. So then it is possible, because I was sitting here going, how does she do that? Yeah. But she kind of gave a little bit of a tiny little glimpse. Okay, so Teresa says, how long is our food freshness? How long does it work for? I've been using mine for about 1.5 years. Still looks brand new. Is it still working?
They're good for a year. That's what we say. But I can tell you that they last a very long time. All right. We guarantee them for a year, but we've never had to replace one because of that. It works. So I just keep adding more. So in my fridge, I'll add another one, every once in a while, just add another one. It's a good thing to do.
Just to add more energy.
Yeah.
I remember asking you, why would you add so many if it was working? Because it extends the life of your fruits and vegetables from spoiling. It just makes them last longer before they spoil, I guess, because it's adding the life force to it.
You asked me that question like a year ago. Like, how many did I have in my fridge? And I think I said I probably have 3 or 4 at any given time. You said, but you only need one. It covers meter. Yep, it covers the meter. But so that's going to inhibit mold and bacteria, and it's going to give some energy. But the more carbs I have in there, the more energy the orange juice is going to get, the eggs is going to get. Everything that I put in my body and my family puts it in their body, they're going to get more energy. So does it hurt me to put more than one in there? No, it doesn't hurt. So I have one in each of the bins. I want as much energy going into my family as possible from the food we eat. Food is not cheap. So it doesn't. Also, my bread box my microwave is a bread box. We don't microwave anything. Please don't microwave anything. But that's our bread box. So bread doesn't mold. And I put that in the food freshness card in there, keeps my bread fresh. Okay. But that's my bread box.
I remember a lady that y'all interviewed saying she left for 6 months and came back, and the bread was still.
That was Dr.
Bread was still good 6 months later. So I'm going to try to find the bread one here.
she's that was the doctor from Life University, Dr. Cadiz, and we were at a trade show in Life University in Atlanta, and she walks up to us with the bread. So we actually videotaped it. It's on YouTube. She goes, I went to a symposium for 2 months in the Bahamas, and I came back. My bread is still fresh. And she brought the bread and said, this is amazing. And she was using our products forever. She's a really nice lady. And she goes to the Bahamas a lot and works on people there. The bread video in the lab is pretty cool. The lab.
Actually, we're going to look at a few vegetables here. Okay, so here's on the right doesn't have a food freshness card. On the left has one. So it's 20-day time lapse.
Yeah, the strawberries are just
play. Might help.
See.
And then this shows. So this is a lab that's actually testing this, right?
Yeah.
Every day they're taking pictures.
Every hour. And all of our
every hour?
To our site, every hour it takes a picture. So on the bottom right-hand corner, every single slide is time-stamped by the lab. So it's really pretty neat. And it's just the lab how to do it. We paid the lab a fortune to do this, but everything lasted a lot longer, up to 50% longer, which is really pretty good.
Right.
The bread, really cool.
Okay. So while this is doing this, I'm going to download a video that RJ said he just sent.
Yeah, that's Dr. Cadiz. She's really sweet. And it's the one you're talking about. This was probably the Dr. Cadiz. This is the coolest video. The tomato. If you look, the bottom tomato on the left grows a stem, tries to live. See that little stem? Freeze it. Oh,
man.
Forget that.
I just noticed that. You would always talk about the stem, and I would never actually. That right there?
It grew a stem. It tried to live. Look at the ones on the right. They're all moldy.
Okay, hang on.
Anyways.
Let me go to the next one. Hang on. Okay.
See the bottom left?
Yeah.
The other ones are all getting mold and disgusting. This one's trying to live. And that's amazing. There's day 1, day 10.
Oh my God. It's not even coming out in the right place.
No, it's not. It's trying to live. 30. Yeah, it's amazing.
It came out of the side.
Yes, it's trying to live.
Oh, it makes you feel bad for the tomato.
Well, if you ever put a bag of potatoes on a food freshness card and forget about it, you're going to open up a bag with stems and like the little eyes of the potatoes are growing like a foot long. It's crazy. They go nuts and try to grow. It's wild. I found out.
Candace Shepherd.
Yeah, that's Dr. Cadiz.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, she's the one that was talking.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if I can pull it up here.
She's at Life University, one of the doctors that used our products. This video is probably like 9 years old. She was one of the first people, and then the second year she came and told us this. She's really nice.
Wonder how. Let me see if I can find it this way. Okay.
Well, hello. I want you to know that I've had this card for 1 year, and my bread, I left to go international. I bought the bread a week before I left, was gone 6 weeks. I've been home 2 weeks actually, and here is the bread. Soft.
No mold.
And no mold.
What do you think of the food freshness card?
I think it's awesome because I only eat fresh green food, and I can tell you over the year, my kale, my spinach, apples, they'll be in there from the beginning of the month until the end of the month, still as fresh as ever.
Dang.
Yeah, and
that's cool.
She's a really healthy person, and she goes, Rick, like nothing goes bad now, and I love it. She goes, because she eats fresh. She eats.
I want to get to the bread because you have a 6 month in here.
The bread is there. You go.
Most people have
Wait,
no
hang on,
clue that
here.
in 2023, the best way to make money on
At least he's
Amazon
showing
is not.
vegetables.
Card on your screens.
No, that's not it, is it?
Created by a family-owned company
This
based
is
in Boston.
This
The
is
company claims
I know. Here, hang on.
on
Here we
your
go.
screens is created by a family-owned card on your screens is created by a
Okay, hang on, because it's not playing it. I'm trying to get to the.
that was when we won the Edison Award. RJ was live. Fine.
All right. Well,
Okay, hang on. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get to the one of the bread. It showed on there.
You had it a second.
I know, and then it probably. Okay, so I'll have to find it. Oh, here it is. Probably here.
card.
Here it is. Okay.
This is the same loaf of bread. All they did was put it in 2 bags, one on the card, one without it. 3 months, mold. 4 months, a lot of mold. 5 months, tons of mold. 6 months, an absolute mold project.
Card on your
And
screens is
we actually
by a family-owned company.
pay for it. So it's like enough's enough. 6 months is long enough. We're like, you don't have to run that anymore. Anyways.
So when you say the same loaf of bread, what do you mean? Like, is
They-
it 2 loaves of bread? One?
No, they bought a loaf of bread, 1 loaf, and then they put 2 Ziploc bags and put one on a card, one not on the card.
The same loaf. So they split the loaf in half?
Yeah.
That particular loaf they split in half?
Split it in half. This way they knew it was the same. This is a lab and they do everything right. So they're like, look, we don't want to buy 2 loaves of bread. That doesn't work. We have to buy 1 loaf and split it. So we're going to put it in Ziploc so you can see it, but it's the same loaf.
It's the same bread from the same loaf of bread.
Right. Right. So loaf of bread. One of them turned into an absolute mold project. Pretty cool.
Okay, so let's see what other comments we have. I think they attacked our tomatoes this year. Nobody's got any tomatoes.
My tomatoes stay fresh.
No, I mean growing them. But
Oh.
like, forget it.
My tomatoes are healthy. But
Oh, I know what I was going to ask you. So one idea I had, tell me if this would work, was to hold the earthing card in front of the hose as it's watering. Would that work?
yes.
So I hold it in front of the water and it's running off the earthing card.
Right. Put your hand under it and put the hose on top of it. Yes. Absolutely. Yes.
Oh, put the hose on top. I was putting the card in front of the water as it flowed
Yeah,
out of
the water like this with your thumb on the top so it runs over the card and then in.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
Or you could always use the old-fashioned duct tape routine. Duct tape it to the end. It worked.
Yeah.
Okay. You can also take your inbound water line of your house and wrap this around with duct tape, the food freshness card. I've done that. It's on mine. I can tell you that.
I gotta find my main water line.
Look. Do you guys have a basement down there?
There's no basements in Texas.
There's no. Well,
we should have them.
You got to have a line coming in. It's usually next to a compression tank, next to your water heater. You got to have one of those. So somewhere you got a water line coming in through the cement of your house. Somehow.
So there's like these standing things and there's something on it. Is that the water?
There's usually in a house, you have a compression tank and it's this big aluminum thing, looks round, and your water comes into that first because it puts pressure on it. It adds more pressure. Pretty much every house has them. Like
I'm
kind
gonna have to go hunt for it.
Okay. Yes.
I hope so. I guess I do, maybe. Okay, let's go to specials. So
we have an awesome special for you. We like it.
So the first thing to get people easily to it would be
go to naturesfrequencies.com.
Well, shop.naturesfrequencies.com.
Okay.
So here's my website. If you click on health and you scroll down, you'll see the cards. Click on any one of these.
Yeah.
You know, they haven't been working. I'm gonna have to get with the person that's working on my website. I thought it was just a fluke. Okay, so don't go there.
Hey,
Go to
shop.naturesfrequencies.com.
Yeah, you don't even have to do TCP as long as you do discount 20. But if you do / TCP for Third Culture Patriot, you do want to get the newsletter. Click on catalog, and they've created these Patriot specials.
You want to find
they retail this particular EMF Patriot special has an EMF shield and earthing card. So that's the card. It has a tag, which I also never take off. I bathe with it, I sleep with it, I exercise with it. And then it has a free package of 24 nitric oxide patches and a free package of 4 EMF shields. So when you saw that child's brain that was frying, the sticker that goes on your phone offsets it.
Yes.
So instead of let me take that off.
Instead of the cooking, basically the EMF shield, you know, keeps the blood flowing. So your head goes up 0.08 degrees when the phone has an EMF shield. This is lab tested. It goes up 1.5 without it. That's simple. It works. And this has been tested in the lab. And the coolest video, we got tested on live TV in Australia. And Australia loves to debunk things. And they didn't. They said, this is remarkable. And the guy's head was red hot without it. Then with it, it was cool. And they had the thermography pictures. And it's really a really good video. Anyways.
Well, yeah, he was hooked up to the thermography machine,
right,
as he talked for 10 minutes with the phone. I don't know anyone who would like hold it to their head for 10 minutes. Right. You like to do weights to do that. But anyway, it overheated his head. And then when he put the phone back on with the patch, with the sticker,
yeah,
it literally cooled his head off.
Yes. And it was like the exact line in Australia. It was remarkable. It's very Australian accents. He was from Adelaide, the newscaster from Adelaide. Anyways, it's a very cool video.
Great one. And so for your kids, you want to put them on your laptop. You want to put them on your computer, on the keyboard of your computer.
Well, you want to put them under your hands. Sit on your laptop. Okay. You want to put them on your router. Okay. Everyone's got a wireless router now. Nobody goes hardwired. So you want to put like 2 on the router. Like, honestly, you know, phones for kids, any tablets, Kindles, iPads. And if anybody buys a Patriot special in the next 24 hours, we're going to double the EMF shield. So you're going to get 8 free. These are really important.
So there's 4 free with the package, but they're going to throw in an extra 4.
Yes.
And so when you're on my website, okay, so it's already discounted $200 just automatically. When you're on my website, or you put in
discount 20,
yeah, it's going to drop the price another 20%. So it's down to $476. But if you actually subscribe, like for the nitric oxide patches,
yeah,
then it's going to drop it another 15%. So it would be 15% off $475, right?
Yeah.
Which makes it
important. Blood, like she said, all of our doctors wear them pretty much on K27 up here, pretty much every day. Any way you can increase blood flow is good for you. So
it drops it to 403. RJ, did I do that right? That math?
I think you did.
Okay, so 403 down from 595. Now, if you go to the second Patriots, but they're throwing in another 4 EMF shields.
Give them to your family, your friends, the Kindles, the routers. You can't have enough of these. And
that's over there. Yeah, so then there's this other bigger package, which has an earthing card, an earthing tag, a wow tag, and a food freshness card.
Yep.
And it already has 24 nitric oxide patches free and 4 EMF shields, but you're going to get 8. Now,
Yes.
the reason you want the extra 4 is, well, you're going to have to do a toss up because you've got your Wi-Fi box, but you also have the smart meter.
Yeah, we put them on smart meters. We also put them on, I have them on my fuse box. I mean, I can go on. There's a list. There's a list of like many things. The most important one are the phones, the routers, the laptops, even smart TVs. Like, you know, you want to get near the power supply, anywhere near the power supply. If you travel with those little power packs, you know, the good thing is the power pack, the EMF shield is amplified by the power of the device. So you're getting good frequencies broadcasted from your phone instead of bad frequencies. Same thing, you know, so anything that has power, it'll amplify the good frequencies of the EMF shield. It's pretty neat.
So, okay, so now the bigger packet. Okay, so here's the thing. This would come with 8.
Yep.
The extra 4 is for the next 24 hours. And so this one, your one time, it's 1,465 marked down to 795. But with the 80% off, well, now if it's 675.75, let's say you do that. Okay. And now it's 675.75, but then it's a 20% off with discount 20. Or if you're doing it off from my website, let me remove one of these so we get a good idea. Now it's marked down to $540.60. That is a really cool discount. That's a really cool discount. That's like a third of the original price. And you can do monthly installments. Go ahead.
We can do this for the whole week because you're going to be restreamed again. So the extra 4 are going to anyone getting a Patriot package.
Okay, so for a whole week. So for 7 days, guys, they'll throw in the extra EMF shields. However, let me just go into something. So you need 4 for your Wi-Fi box.
Yeah.
You need, well, I don't know how many phones you have. You may have from your whole family. But if you go in here, you can buy them here.
Well,
and that's $95, and that's subject to the 20% off as well.
Yes.
With discount 20.
Yeah.
So with well, it's $80.75 if you order something monthly, which can be anything, right? And you can change it at any time.
Yes.
Whatever you order.
Yes. The EMF shields are really important. If you have kids, they live on the phones now. Kids, like, you can't take a phone away from a kid anymore. They live on it.
No. So with the discount 20, it drops it. Like if you do a subscription, then it drops it, and then if you do the 20% off, it's $64.80 for 4 of them. And you know what? I always say, don't try to do it all at once. You know, it took me months to build up to have enough for everything. And I can't speak enough for the wow tag because it keeps me calm. Otherwise, I'd be a basket case with all this information I cover. And it's like, okay, you know, the world's falling apart, but it's going to be okay.
We don't want you ever taking away the wow tag.
I know.
That's like
the one time I didn't have it, I was like, you know, nervous because something was going wrong with the neighbor, and the fence guy that was building the fence had poked a hole in his sprinkler thing, and I was fine no matter what happened. And then when I had left it in my daughter's booth, you know, to try to get some good energy on her sale, then it was like she's like, tell Dad not to bother you while we're doing this. And it was like, well, it's my wow tag, you know, I took it off, you know. It was crazy because, you know, you wear it all the time and you just take it for granted.
Yeah.
But if you exercise, you know, run, bicycle, play tennis, and you put these strategically on the muscles you're using, right?
Yeah.
So I think your ankle, next to your ankle bone is one area.
All right. Here's on Nitro. When I play tournaments, I put them inside under my ankle. If you look, you're going to see a bunch of veins. And if you go under the ankle bone, it's right there with the veins in the. So your sock holds it, and it's a perfect spot. I also go on my upper calf. I'm sorry, my upper thigh, right by the hip on each side. Then I play tennis, so I also put them on my forearms. On my right forearm, I put 2 on my right forearm because I need blood flow. I hit the ball pretty hard, and so those are key spots, and it's pretty neat. But I wouldn't play tennis without an earthing card in my right pocket. If anybody gets an earthing card, as soon as you get it, stand up, go like this, twist your body, okay? Then take the earthing card, twist your body. Watch what happens. You're going to twist 20% further. Why? Because your body functions better with the frequency of the earth. And the earthing card, I have the original. This just says earthing card. The new ones are all the EMF Shield Plus earthing card. It's got a newer program in it for 5G, 6G, and all the new Gs coming out.
Oh, that
so we've always
all of them 6, 7, 8.
There's going. We keep updating our programs because we're pretty good at this. But I got the original. It just says earthing card. Okay, you've got the EMF Shield Plus earthing card. I'm the original guy. I wind up giving mine away all the time. So,
but that proves that they last for years as long as you don't cut them up and,
they last. Well, Marie washed hers. Washed in the heat, the dryer and the heat. Went through both in her son's clothes and tested it and said it still worked fine. Wow. And she was amazed. She wasted a card. And it went through with her son's clothes, and it was on one of our videos. She goes, Rick, I was amazed. It didn't lose a beat. I tested it. The bovie was still the same. It went through the water, went through the dryer. And she goes, most things I thought it would be useless. It wasn't.
Let me go back to something RJ just texted. You can do 12 months pay. So with 12 months pay, I think we ended up at like 540.
Cool.
So that's what? What's 540 divided by 12? With subscription. Less. If you don't order anything regularly,
like $40.
It still ends up. So that's $45.05.
Yeah.
So let's go back in case someone doesn't want to do a subscription and get this. Let's take this one. The earthing card, earthing tag, nitric oxide patches, and 8 EMF shields because you're getting for free right now. And for 20% off, you either put in discount 20, or if you go to my direct link, which will be in the description of the Rumble. Okay, now I put too many in here. Let's take that out. And let's take that down to 1. That's going to drop to $476. So if you do $476 divided by 12, it's $39 a month.
Cool.
Yeah, so it does bring it way down. Okay. Well, thank you. Can we buy the original earthing card? Linda, why would you want the original earthing card? It's the same price.
You want the new one.
You want the new one. The new one's going to last for 6G and 7G and all that. Rick's just proving that they last forever.
Yeah, they do. They do. They last. We won't say that, and I'm not supposed to say that, but they last a very long time.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You will not be disappointed. Like, our products are programmed for over 24 hours with very big machines, and we're really good at what we do. And a lot of people, they've been in business 1 year, 2 years. We're over 10 years doing this, so we have a clue. It's kind of a good thing.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I think.
Go ahead.
You have
any last thoughts?
Pardon?
Any last thoughts? I interrupted you.
I got to tell you, I am 62, and knock on wood, I'm all original body parts. I take no drugs. I do drink beer after tennis, and I play incredibly competitive tennis. I compete with like 24-year-old Colombian tennis pros, and these kids can run, and
Wow.
they're tough. And that's who I compete with. And I could never do it without my products, honestly. Like I have not taken a drug in 5 years, any kind of pill. And knock on wood, I'm healthy as an ox. Like I teach today. I started at 7:30 teaching pickleball for 2 hours. Then I taught tennis, and then I played tennis, and I love it. I do it every day. And without my products, there's no way I could do this. And it just stay healthy. So we're happy to help.
Desi, when she started, I need to get Desi on to give her testimonial, but when she started wearing the earthing card and the Food Freshest card, she used to never be able to put shoes on. She had to wear flip-flops and barefoot because her feet and legs were so swollen. And when she started using the earthing card and the Food Freshest card, was it just the earthing card, Desi, or was it also the Food Freshest card? All the swelling went down. She could wear shoes again. What was that?
That's blood flow. Okay. If your blood flows, you're oxygenating in your cap. It's going through the capillaries instead of getting stuck. We have a dark field microscope that shows the difference with our products, how it gets strung up and didn't. One day you should show that, because it actually shows the blood strung up. And when you get our products near it, it separates it. So you get single cells. So a single cell can get through the capillaries and can, oxygenate her feet instead of getting swollen.
Huh.
And it works on all of our products on dark field. We've done this, and RJ's got a video that he can send you one of these days. Next time we'll talk about it.
Let's
Blood flow
cover
is
that next time. And then also Dr. Stan did a whole test of people on all different machines, kind of measurements of medical machines with the products and without them. And that also made huge differences on their everything that they showed. It was improved. And so we need to go over that one next time.
That's the HRV test, and that's really pretty neat. The heart rate variable test. They've tested before and after, and the differences are huge. It's really pretty neat, including one of the tests. It's actually your biological age and your actual age, and it cut the age down 15%.
Wow.
And within 15 minutes. Like this is within, I think the test was 15 or 30 minutes in between, just by, wearing the card. The differences were huge.
How is it taking your biological age down though?
It looks at your body functions, how your bodies are, because it's not just looking at your age clock, it's looking at how your body is functioning. And a heart rate variable test has, it's a machine, they're expensive, and it tests all these different things. It tests everything, and we have all these reports, and it's really pretty cool. I'd be happy to show you and to explain it.
Okay.
It's neat.
Okay. So am I able to ride my bike in 108 degrees because of these things in the earthing card?
If you can, but you're going to have to drink a lot of water.
I do drink a lot of water. I drink earthing water while I'm riding, but is that what, or is it just my bullheaded decision? I'm going to do it no matter what.
Well, the best thing is ride it one day with like 4 nitro on. Put them in under your ankle and on the side of your thighs. Ride it one day like that, and then the next day don't put any nitro on. Look at the difference.
No, I have done that. I have done that because if I'm not riding for a while and then I don't put them on, it's like a really hard ride. And when I do wear them, it really does make it a lot easier. But I was basically it's like I've been riding and regularly. But I'm wondering, is it helping with the heat? Also,
I can't. You guys are in like crazy heat.
I know.
So I can't.
They're trying us.
But what it is going to help you, the nitro is going to help blood flow. What helps blood flow? It helps you get rid of, the oxygen, like he talked about the water. You're oxygenating your blood more. So that's just beneficial to your body. And you're drinking water wetter. So again, what I tell people to do is drink regular crappy water. Don't use my products and go ride your bike in 110 degrees. Okay. Then the next day, and see how you feel. Then the next day,
I might try that. I'll try pass out.
Right. Put the earthing card in your pocket, put 4 nitro on, and drink my good water and watch the difference. That's when you know.
Well, that's what I've
and
been
then
doing. So I think if I'm going to try it without anything, I hadn't thought to do that. Oh my God.
You got to try it with anything, and then you'll know. You'll know the difference. You got to take off everything.
I know. That's what I'm thinking.
You have to be stripped of all of our products and then do it. And then you'll see the difference in how your energy is. My energy is huge.
Wow.
But when I always wear nitro, always. And I don't even think twice. Like, I'm not going to play a tournament without it.
Wow.
I have my whole wife's team went to sectionals. They all wore nitro, swore by it. The whole team. They're like, what are these gold patches these people are wearing? I'm like, they're nothing. Don't worry about it.
Just, oh, because you didn't want them to ride it. I mean, to wear them and then competitive.
So, but the entire women's team was wearing it because the ladies all like it. And it's pretty funny.
Well, they probably were like, they didn't have the same competitive edge. So you didn't want them to have them on. the opposing team. All right. Well, thank you, Rick. Thank you, everyone. And the special for the extra free EMF meals will be for a week. So that's next Wednesday. Next Wednesday midnight. Okay. Sounds good. Okay. Good night, everybody.